fellow Gold viewers from around the world. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and MC for Gold Learning. And I'm here today with Nancy Mohrbacher to talk about her upcoming presentation, Transitioning the Preterm Baby to the Breast. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you, Kristen. It's a great pleasure to be here.
I'm so glad that you could make it and spare a few minutes out of your busy day to chat with us here today. I know you have presented with Gold before, and we are so lucky and blessed to have you here with us today and presenting for us again. And we want to talk about your topic, transitioning the preterm baby to the breast. But before we do so, can you tell our listeners who have had not the pleasure yet to listen to you and to know you, to introduce yourself a little bit, tell them a little bit about your profession?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Well, I started in breastfeeding back in 1982, before the profession even existed. I came to my first La Leche League meeting in 1980 when I was pregnant with my first child, and what drew me into the field was an experience that I had there. I was watching a new mother interacting with her 3-week-old baby, and I was watching them make faces at one another, and there was just so much emotion going on that I remember leaving that meeting thinking to myself, that's the kind of relationship I want with my baby. And that was really what helped me get through the initial difficulties and become a breastfeeding support counselor. So I started as a La Leche League leader back in 1982, and I became board certified in 91, and for 10 years I ran a large private practice in the Chicago area where I worked with thousands of families. I also, after that, worked for 8 years for a breast pump company, and that's actually where I had the chance to meet one of the women whose work I'm going to be describing in this presentation. She came and spoke around the United States at my invitation, which was a really wonderful experience. After that, I worked for 2 years for a corporate lactation program, and since 2011, I've had my own company. And one of the things I do is I contract with hospitals to improve breastfeeding practices, and I've just finished writing a 90-hour IBCLC training course for China. So I've been spending a lot of time in China as well.
What a wonderful journey you have had so far, and how many lives you have impacted. Thank you for sharing that, Nancy. And I must say, I love the story how you got started in your field. You had that meeting when you were pregnant at the La Leche League, and you saw that mom, nursing her 3-week-old or very young baby there, and you saw that emotional connection that this mother had. And now that leads me to talk to you about your topic. Your topic is transitioning the preterm baby to the breast. And I can imagine that a preterm baby, that's quite a different, they're off to a different start in life than a baby that was born full term, of course. So tell us a little bit about your topic and how you got interested in it.
Well, in my work in writing the books that I've written, I've spent a lot of time in the research. And as I mentioned, I had the great pleasure of meeting Kirsten Hedberg-Nickvist, who's one of the premier researchers in this topic. I brought her to the United States when I worked for the pump company, and she gave presentations all around the country. And so that really it perked my interest because I learned through her work that preterm babies are actually capable of a lot more than we give them credit for. And that was one of the things that got me very interested.
Sounds fascinating. I liked what you said, that really spoke to me, that preterm babies are able to do a lot more, capable of a lot more than we give them credit for. So I'm looking very much forward to your presentation. Now, before I let you go, can you let us know what you are hoping our delegates might take away from it?
Well, I'm hoping that they leave understanding a little bit more clearly the various stages that preterm babies go through, from not being able to breastfeed at all to full breastfeeding on cue. That's something that Kirsten Hedberg-Nickvist has really delineated for us. So I think a clearer understanding of these stages that the preterm baby goes through will be very practical in our professional lives.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Nancy, for spending some time here and chatting with me for a few minutes here.
You're most welcome.
So good to have you here. So Nancy's presentation, Transitioning the Preterm Baby to the Breast, is part of the Breastfeeding in the NICU lecture pack here at Gold. For more information on this presentation and on the other presentations in this lecture pack, please visit goldlearning.com. Thank you all for listening and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.